Right. Okay. So thank you for the introduction here, Teguh Kurniawan. Okay. Anyone else? Please introduce yourself, where you're from. Okay. We would like. Yeah, we will be very happy if you do that. Okay. So this agenda tonight will be, talking mostly about the hotspot, Mikrotik hotspot. Okay, we'll do a review, some prerequisite knowledge, and then of course our main course for tonight is the Mikrotik hotspot, several tips and tricks, and then if time possible, we can do live practice. Okay, for the introduction, we are GLC, Garda Lintas Cakrawala. We are based in Bandung. Our areas are training and IT consulting. We are certified partner for Mikrotik and other vendors as well. Yeah, like Mikrotik, Ubiquiti, and Linux Foundations. We develop our own solution for Radius. Okay, when we also do regular event like we are doing today. Myself is about myself. My name is Achmad, and I'm based in Bandung, Indonesia. Linux user since 1999. Mikrotik user, Ubiquiti user. Any users? Programming users like PHP users, MySQL user, PostgreSQL users, any other users? Yeah, guys, because I'm here working as an IT consultant, so yeah, we are enforced to to know several technologies. I also write in some write article in some websites, and also I have LinkedIn account. And if you don't mind, we can connect on LinkedIn. Right. Past experience mostly related to network. So we set up ISP from ground up, from zero to something. We also doing integrations like billing and radius and other automation stuff. Our places, the project were in Europe, in UK. Yeah, that was Europe as well. In Africa, not all Africa, several countries. Yes, in Asia and in Australia. We never had project in America. So hopefully in the future. Right, so about the webinar itself, we start the webinar since January 1st, 2010 with various topics. Well, I can see here mostly are from Indonesia. So guys, please let me know if you are not from Indonesia so that I can speak Indonesian. Okay, if everyone here is Indonesian, and of course I'll be speaking in Indonesian. Oh, okay, so one guy is from Timor-Leste. Okay, so I'll be speaking in English then. Okay, somebody is from Ghana, other is from Timor-Leste. Okay, right. So because not everyone here is from Indonesia, so yeah, let's continue using English. Sorry, guys. Yeah, perhaps in the future we'll be set up a great webinar with English, not English, in Indonesian language. All right, thank you for introducing yourself. Okay, I can see mostly you are from Indonesia. 1%, 2% from Timor-Leste. Okay, welcome. I don't know. Selamat datang in Tetun, Tetun language, yeah. I don't know. Perhaps you can say something here. I don't know. Timor-Leste is an official language now is Portuguese or Tetun. I'm not sure. I have friends from Timor-Leste, but mostly we speak in English. One from Ghana, thank you. One from Philippines, thank you very much for coming. Yeah. And okay, let's continue. So by oh, Tetum. Okay, Timor-Leste use Tetum language. Okay, thank you. So we assume you already know how HTTP or browser works. Okay, so this one here. And then you need to know, we assume you already know how computer network works, how firewall in Mikrotik works, especially network address translation. Why? Because the hotspot really depends on these things. Okay, not. And of course, at least you're not a newbie for Mikrotik. At least you have an experience how to configure the Mikrotik. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so let's review. So we know that in computer network, we have 7 OC layers. And inside the layer, we have protocols inside, and then every layer is responsible for one functions. Okay, so we have, so when we do communications, we are using a stack of protocols. Okay, and then those protocols are grouped by layers here. So we are like we are doing a vertical uh, communication. So from one layer passing to the other layers using a process called encapsulation, like this. So the data from the upper layer will be passed through the lower layer. Okay, from top to the bottom. It's for encapsulation. Okay, and then if the packets received by the other party, and then there will be a process for decapsulation. Okay, which peel the headers and then finally get the data. So if you see the process of encapsulation, we have a data here, and then the data is wrapped with the header, and then that thing is called PDU, protocol data units. Or is it happening here? It's called the protocol data unit, PDU, and then for the PDU name is different based on the layers that you are adding. So we have in for layer 4, we have segment or datagram. In layer 3, we have packets. In layer 2, we have frame. Okay, so this is just a review. Okay, so if you are still confused, and then yeah, you can take a training for that, or learn more about the encapsulation process. And then here's the header, header for TCP, header for UDP, and then here's also header for layer 3. Okay, IPv4 and IPv6. Okay, as you can see, IPv6 has a longer header compared to IPv4. That's the big difference between them. The In terms of total bits, IPv4 is 32 bits, IPv6 is 4 times larger. So it's 128, so it's 4 times. So 4 times 32 equals to 128. But the total number of IP addresses for IPv6 is huge. Okay, it's not 4 times, but it's huge. So it's 2 to the power of 128. So this one is 2 to the, oops. Okay, let me put my marker here. So this is 2 to the power of 32, but here is 2 to the power of 128. Okay, so you can imagine how many IP addresses in IPv6. So if your hair, each of your hair had an IP address, I think it's still enough. 128, man, it's huge. All right, so, and then here's the Ethernet header. Um, I can see somebody is turning on their camera, so I would like to stop it to reduce the bandwidth usage here for the webinar. Right. Okay. So here's the MTU Ethernet header. And then if you are using Wi-Fi, this is the header looks like. And then if you see there is an encapsulation process here. Okay, so big encapsulation process. So start from where you are here. Okay, this is the data that you are sending, and then the data is getting bigger and bigger. So this is layer 4, and then layer 3, and then layer 2, and then layer 2 with the Wi-Fi, and then layer 2 with the MPLS. This is just for example. This is just give you an idea about how encapsulation looks like in computer networks. And then I assume you already know hub, switch, router, and firewalls. Okay, so this is you. Usually this is how it works, right? Oops, yeah. So this is you. You're sending data through switch, and then switch will forward it to the router. Router will forward your data to the internet over there. Okay. So usually this is where the hotspot is running. Hotspot. Okay, so hotspot usually is running on router. Okay, so about the NAT. Okay, so NAT actually actually is a technology for conserving our IP address. Otherwise, our IP address already vanished in early 1990s. Yeah, it's true. Yes. Internet was booming. The designer of IP addresses, the IP address technology, never expect that the IP address is used globally and very fast. So yeah, IP address is running out, and then there is a RFC that says that okay, uh, in order to preserve the IP address, okay, and then we need to do network address translation. Yeah. So IP address now is divided into two groups, private and public. Okay, and then from the private will be translated into the IP address. So this process is called NAT, network address translation. Okay. Yeah. So depletion of IP address. Okay, and scaling and routing. So that's what happened. Okay. So this is how NAT looks like. Okay. So for example, mapping IP private and IP public. So this is the router, and then the router has two interfaces. One goes to LAN, one goes to WAN, and then it has on the other side they have a public IP address, and the left side here they have a, 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 a private IP address. So when you send data through, for example, yahoo.com, okay, uh, yeah, this is how the process looks like. Okay. And then not only the IP address, we can do port mapping as well. So we're mapping this port to that port. Okay. So for example, this. Okay. So we are mapping source and destination, and then here's the IP. Okay. But on the other side, we'll use this, and then here's the port and IP address. Okay, so yeah, this is how it looks like for port mapping, and this is called this is part of NAT technology. So we're not only mapping the IP address, but only the port that is associated with the connection. Yeah, this is port address translation. So for example, incoming port here. Oops. Incoming port here, and then there is a routing table, NAT tables, and then it routes to the destination 27575, for example. Yeah, this is very easy. This is just a basic concept of network address translation. And then, yeah, by the way, NAT is not good. It's not scalable, even though there is a called carrier grade NAT. But the thing is, it's still NAT. Okay, some applications do not work under NAT, like an online game, because network address translation, like streaming function, NAT, VoIP, yeah, especially VoIP. security, for example, if one is doing something nasty and then the other person that is under the same IP address will be blocked. It's very nasty, but it happens. Okay. Do not use NAT on your local network. Please use routing protocol instead. Okay, so internal your organization, do not use NAT. Okay, NAT is used for translating private IP to public IP. It's not designed for permanent solution, but we already lived NAT for more than I can say 20 years, almost 20 years. Yeah, that's the NAT. Okay, more than 20 years. Okay, we already live with NAT. There is an ultimate solution, yes, IPv6, but IPv6 is, I mean, some people already use IPv6, but the adoption for IPv6 is very slow. Okay, so this is the Mikrotik Firewall. Still, we are doing the review. So, on which layer the traditional firewall works? Well, depends. So usually a firewall inspects on layer 3. Okay, on layer 3 here, checking the IP address, checking the protocol, checking the port. So those are uh, uh, a part of layer 4. Okay, and also they are working on layer 2, for example, checking the MAC address. So these are the places or layers where the traditional firewall works. Okay. Oops. So for Mikrotik Firewall, it consists of 3 main table, which are filter, NAT, and Mangle. Okay, it's developed from Linux. Actually, in several years ago, 2016, I think, 15 or 16, yeah, they already add a new table here called row. Okay, here, row table. Okay, so row table is similar to filter, but using less CPU horsepower. Okay, right. I got some question here. Can you share the recording? Yes, we will upload the recording on YouTube. Then, so there is no NAT on IPv6. Of course, yeah. So the problem with IPv4 is they are running out of IP address, and now there is no IPv4 left. Okay, but the network is keep bigger and bigger. Yeah. So there is no other choice. You have to use IPv6, and then IPv6 is 128 bits. It's 2 to the power of 128. So it means that the number of IPv6 is huge. And if it is huge, and then there is no need for doing network address translations, right? You get my point, right? Okay, so hopefully you do. So this is how firewall works, okay, by using matchers and action. So as you can see, so these are, if you create a firewall on Mikrotik, so these 3 tabs is matchers, and then you have one here for action. So for action, you can drop them, you can jump, reject, and whatever you like, okay. Again, this is still a review. So hopefully we assume you're already familiar with this. And then this is how the packets is processed on Mikrotik, okay, aka this is the packet flow, okay. Actually, this is the simple version of IP packet flow because we remove the IPsec processing here. Okay, so as you can see, packets okay, so this is how the packets is processed. So either you go directly to the router or you are passing through the router. And then if you're using hotspot, So these are okay. Before we talk about hotspot, so these are the chain that is available on Mikrotik. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 main chain. Okay, and then each chain has its own function. Okay, if you think about filter, okay, I will use yellow here perhaps. Sorry, I see one person here is turn on the mic, so I will mute you all. Okay, wait a moment. Okay, so I have to mute all of you. So if you want to say something, and then please say, please type something on the group chat. So previously we know that we have four, three tables. Yeah, filter, knot, and mangle. But not all of them are available in all chain. As you can see, okay, filter. So filter is available on input, on forward, and on output. Filter out. Okay, for NAT, okay, let's use green here. NAT is only available on pre-routing and post-routing. Okay, either source NAT or destination NAT. And for Mangle, they are everywhere. Okay, Mangle on pre-routing, Mangle on input, Mangle on forward, output, and then post-routing. And what about hotspot? Hotspot actually is on here. So I will use purple. So this is hotspot and this. Okay. So as you can see, hotspot is really heavily depends on NAT. Okay. So before we do the destination NAT, so hotspot will kick in first here. Okay. So before, so this is you. Okay. So this is you. You want to log in, or maybe other colors. Any other colors? Okay, so this is you. You want to log in to a network. You want to access the network, and then first things that you need to see is pre-routing. And then if you zoom the pre-routing here, and then the captive portal will you have to pass will be appear. Okay, so the captive portal will be appear. You have to pass through the captive portal first before you going further here. Okay, so that's where the how the portal work, the captive portal works. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so this is how the firewall knot looks like. If you see it closer, this is knot, and then in general, actually they only have two options, either in pre-routing or post-routing. Okay, and then for the actions, so this is NAT actions. We have many choices. Either you can do jump, destination NAT, source NAT, or whatever. Okay, so we're not talking much about the NAT here anymore. Further. Okay, so let's talk about the hotspot. Okay, so hotspot. This is a hotspot page for version. I think I'm using here on Router OS version 7. So what is hotspot? Hotspot provides authentication. It's layer 7 authentication. So as you can see, yeah, here it is. So this is layer 7, okay? So when we want to access the network, you need to do authentication. You need to put the username and password, okay, so that you are legitimate to access the network. And then the authentication can be done on layer 7. For example, in uh, hotspot environment. Is there any other alternative? Yes, you can use PPPoE, you can use Wi-Fi EIP. Okay, so those are authentication mechanism as well. But PPPoE is on between layer 2 and 3, and then the Wi-Fi enterprise authentication is on layer 2. It's on Wi-Fi. Okay, so the things that is sitting on layer 7, for example, is the hotspot. Okay, so this is the benefit of hotspot. Okay, so it's based on the browser. Okay, based on the browser at the client side. So this is, I think, here is the drawback of hotspot. Well, because not all device has browser, right? For example, your small device, IoT device, okay, IoT device, which can well, the purpose for IoT device is for monitoring. Uh, they cannot do the hotspot authentication, right? They don't have browsers, and then even though they have browser, how can they fill in the data, the username and password? Okay, so yeah, so this is the drawbacks of hotspot. So it's really rely on the browser on the client side. It works reliably on IPv4, and then rely heavily on a firewall NAT. Yes, yeah, IPv4 NAT, but not available on IPv6. Why? Because there is no NAT on IPv6. Okay, so be careful with that. If you are using IPv6, no NAT. So how it works? Well, if your hotspot works, as you can see, Mikrotik will create the NAT function here automatically. Also, as you can see, it's also create the rules, firewall rules automatically on filter and NAT. Okay, both of them. So how it works? Well, client gets IP address. Mikrotik will redirect request to the captive portal. So based on the rules here, you can check the rules yourself. User will see the authentication page. Okay, here, and then put the username and password. And if pass, user info is recorded, like MAC address or browser cookies. So, okay, so this MAC address is legitimate to continue the the browsing, and then yeah, user continue not only browsing but access the network. Okay, so that's how firewall, not firewall, how the hotspot works. And then here, if you see, this is the hotspot server profiles. Okay, so here you can define how the server behave. Okay, so either you can use it in general, you define here. And then for login, there are several methods for login, like based on MAC address, based on authentication, based on HTTPS, based on cookies, MAC cookies, or trial. And then you can also integrate the hotspot with the radius. So all the username and password are from the radius. Okay, next is hotspot server itself. So it's defined where the server is running and listening on. So for example, you are running hotspot on this interface, so that there will be uh, a web page that will be appear where user put their username password there. Okay, moving on. This is the hotspot user profile. Okay, remember this is a user profile. It defines the user rights. Okay. For example, yeah, the pool, the session, how many shared user. Okay, so that it defines with the same username and password. Can you use the same username password in other device? So you can define them here, and then you can check you can classify the customer. Is this a silver customer? This is a gold customer, or kind of any kind of customer. Okay. Also, we have a hotspot user. It's the real user. It's the database of users. Contains of authentication information like username and password. Okay, and also limit. So let's say I will assign that user one here is limited only for uh, uh, 1 gigabit in download and 1 gigabyte out or upload. And then also we have IP binding here. Okay, so this is the hotspot features, IP bindings. This is I think this is the solution for allowing uh, browserless device like IoT device. Yeah, where they cannot put the username and password. They don't have browsers, right? Like your maybe Raspberry Pi, your Arduino, they don't have browsers. Well, they have browsers, but maybe it's not working. Yeah. So you can put here, you can exclude them. Okay, for this IP address, uh, you can allow them. Okay, do not. They don't have to authenticate to the captive portal. Okay, and then here's the nice thing about the captive portal is the walled garden. So for example, you can exclude some websites so that they don't have to log in for accessing the website. For example, if you put here www.glcnetworks.com and then yeah, uh, they don't need to do authentication for accessing the website here. So that's the purpose for walled garden. So it can be, I mean, you can accept them, okay, like this. You can drop or reject. Yeah, so it's up to you. So wall garden you can use wall garden with the DNS based host, or you can set up an address list and then set up a wall garden IP for that. It's also supports asterisk and question mark. Okay, if you know Linux, and then I think this is similar. Okay, it's also support regex, regular expression, and then I think this is a very cool feature. Okay, now it's the issue. Okay, uh, well, applying hotspot in the network can attract some issues. Okay, so now for some device, or for most devices, yeah, uh, some they do some background checking to see they are behind a captive portal or not. So so in the beginning they don't know. Okay, am I in the captive portal or not? Okay, so they are the way they do is they're accessing a website. Okay, so they're accessing website A, for example, and then they know how the website A looks like. Okay, when they access, the captive portal will intercept the request and then will show the captive portal website. Okay, captive portal web page. And then if the device see, oh, okay, so the website A should be like this, but the one that I receive is the one from captive portal, which is like, for example, B. So A is not similar to B. Oh, okay. So that means that I'm behind in the, I'm behind, I'm located behind a captive portal. So it means that I will display the captive portal page. Okay. And then you put the username password. And then, after you pass, and then you can, your username and password correct, and then you can continue browsing. Yes, this traditional method works, but not always works. Some device they have experience like this, and to improve this mechanism, somebody proposed RFC 7710 to improve the mechanism. So it means that so instead of the device is asking for checking, doing the background checking, okay, am I behind the captive portal or not? So the captive portal says, okay, you are behind the captive portal, and do the authentication, and then here's the web page. Okay, so this is important. Okay. All right. Tips and tricks. Well, if you are using Router OS, better if you upgrade your Router OS to minimum version 6.48. Why? Because it supports RFC 7710. Okay. Yeah. And then make sure the client also supports the the RFC as well. Make sure it's only on IPv4. Yeah. No hotspot on IPv6. Why? As I said, there is no NAT on IPv6. Why there is no NAT? Why? Because IPv6 has huge address space, so there is no need for that. Where I use radius here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you are using external radius, you're using your own device for storing the username and password, and then do many calculations like a database. You can do queries. You can do many things. Okay. Yeah. Next is if you can use external captive portal. So if you Mikrotik has its own web server, but if there are lots of people log into the same Mikrotik, and then it will be overloaded, especially if you are running HTTPS. Okay, HTTPS requires a high calculation, and then it requires a CPU. So that for that you can offload the Mikrotik processing for captive portal into the external captive portal page. Okay. And also, if you know programming, it's a good chance for you to add features on Hotspot. Okay, so you can, as long as you know programming things, uh, you can add features on your own. Okay. So next, okay, we still have time, so that we can do live practice here. QA, any questions? Yeah, if you are interested, just come to our training. We do Mikrotik training, programming, and other stuff. So mostly those three: networking, Linux, and system administration, and programming. Yeah, please submit your feedback here. Okay, let me copy and paste for you. Okay, and then for further events, you can check our schedule. Okay, check it here. We have Facebook page where we put our schedules. Slides will be available on Slideshare. Recording will be available on YouTube. Any questions before we close? We do the. Okay, I see one hands up here. You want to say something? Okay, let me open the microphone. Okay, so I will allow you to say something. All right. So let's continue. I will share I will do a demo here.
Hello.
Yes.
Good. Yeah. So I have a question.
Oh yeah, sure. You can type a question or you can say something
Yeah.
here.
Can you explain about the Mikrotik Hotspot user manager and Mikrotik voicer? Which one the best we use?
Well, Mikrotik is the Mikrotik. You can combine this with the with your own system, like generating a voucher, so that you can sell the vouchers to your customer, right? Yeah, that is possible. Okay, so Mikrotik Hotspot and voucher system is two different systems. Okay, so hopefully you understand that.
Okay.
Yeah, so usually
Thank you.
people do their own radius here, for example. Yeah, see radius, and then based on that they will generate the voucher based on the radius information. Okay, let me share the screen here. Okay, view the device. Oops, where's the device? Ah, here it is. Okay, so over here, this is my phone. Okay, it's a live phone. Oops, what's going on? Yeah, cancel it. Oh, okay. Looks like connection is not stable here. Okay, so connecting to Pfizer. Okay, hopefully not be long. Oops. Okay, let me log out and log in. Okay, before we connect to the Android, let's check our hotspot here. So you can check your hotspot here. Okay, so first you can see you can check the server profile. So profile is here, it's done, and then the server is already up here on Wyland 1. Here you can already you set up the profile, okay, for the customer. Okay, and then here is the username and password. Okay, so here username is user1, password is password. Okay, so everything is set up. So the thing is, what you need to do is setting up the server profile, servers, user profiles, and then user. So as simple as that. Okay, so now I'm ready. So the hotspot is ready. Let me open the hotspot. Okay, so this is the hotspot. I click here. Okay, so it says that I need to do authentication. Okay, connect automatically. Oops. Okay, let's open the browser. Okay, so it seems that it's already authenticated before. Oh yeah, here. Okay, let me delete the cookies. Remove. Okay, so it's already authenticated. And then let's check something. Okay, so let's turn off the Wi-Fi. Okay, and then log into the Wi-Fi again. Okay, choose the hotspot, tap the view details. Okay, and then you can see it's the hotspot portal. So as you can see, I already created a user here, user one, and then password is password. Okay, and then click connect. If everything okay, and then as you can see, the flag here is authorized and the HCP. So I already log in, man. And then if I want to check the statistic, I can click them here. But yeah, sorry, I can access other website, www.glcnetworks.com. Yes. Okay, just wait. And then, yeah, here we go. It's done. So as simple as that. Okay, any questions?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome. So as you can see here, we can check the statistic of this user. Okay, here's the MAC address. Here's the IP address. Actually, there is a mapping. There is a mapping a process between IP address. So the IP address here, original IP address, and then two IP address here, okay, can be different. For statistics, this is the uptime, idle time, bytes in, the total bytes that I already download, total packets, and then here's for outgoing. All right, so yeah, that's how the hotspot works on Mikrotik. Any questions? Hello. Okay, I
Ahmad.
have question here. I have some trouble in Mikrotik. Some of them login cannot appear. Yes. Usually on iPhone. Yes, correct. Yeah, usually Apple product is troublesome. Well, that depends. That's the policy of iPhone. Yes, yes. And then looks like iPhone do not like the captive portal, do not like the hotspot. So for that, hopefully you can upgrade your router OS to minimum 6.48. So was released a few months ago. So hopefully the Apple devices support that. Okay. Solve that. You can whitelist the double click. Okay. Apple device will pop up a captive portal. Yes. Okay. So yeah, that's the thing. Okay. As I mentioned here, here's the problem. Okay. So the Apple device. Okay. So the Apple device is requesting their Apple web page, and then comparing. Okay, so the Apple device knows that. Okay, so this is how the Apple website looks like. Okay, so this is website A, and then because that device is not authenticated, so instead of website A appear, what you will see is a captive portal web page. Okay. Okay. So captive portal here is appears. So it means that I have to display the captive portal, but this method is not always work. Apple think that okay, somebody is attacking me. Okay, is trying to 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 change Apple website. Is trying to hack me to like doing man in the middle attack. Okay, so that's why I will not display the captive portal. All right. Okay, so hopefully that explains. Hi dear, we don't receive last training session video for today. How can will be received? Okay, just check our YouTube channel. So hopefully we put our videos there. If the video is not there, and then usually admin is busy. Okay, so yeah, just you can contact the admin. So we will upload based on our availability because yeah, sometimes admin, I'm not the admin. Sometimes admin is busy, is doing something else. So the upload to the website is perhaps delayed. Okay, anything else? As long as you whitelist correct URL connectivity, the captive portal will open. Yes, correct. Okay. So every device has its own connectivity check. Yes, that's correct. True. But that one is not always works. Okay. So that's why when the RFC here, RFC 7710 is created. So better if you upgrade your router OS device into the latest version. Oh, the YouTube channel. Yeah, here. Okay, so let me put the feedback. All right, so feedback URL I put again. And then YouTube channel here. You can Google it as well. YouTube channel. Okay. What else? Slide. Okay, slide here. Yeah. What else? What else do you need? Facebook. Yes, Facebook. Okay, put them on chat box here. Anything else? So hopefully everyone
Hello.
get a better understanding about how the hotspot works. Okay. Oh, okay. One question here. Is it okay if we use user manager? Yes. Yeah, it's possible. So user manager is actually is a radius made by the Mikrotik. So if you want to use the radius from the user manager, you can put them here. But I mean, personally, I prefer to use my own radius because it has more features compared to that. If you use user manager, and then user manager is sitting on Mikrotik, you can do more on that. Okay. So hopefully that answered questions. Yeah. Riza, yeah, thank you for the questions. Anything else? If not,
Hello.
yes. Who is it?
Yeah, yes. I was asking if okay. Assalamualaikum. I
Salam.
was asking if I can connect my own radius manager to the Mikrotik hotspot.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
It's possible. Okay. Then I can implement the voucher in it.
Yeah. So the voucher things, the billing things, it's your own things. Okay, it's not the radius. I mean, not the hotspot. Hotspot is just the captive portal, but the engine behind it, the database of username and password is your own responsibility if you are using your own radius. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome. Yeah, so as you can see here, you can add username and password here, but you cannot generate voucher here, right? Yeah, so this is just a proof of concept that I mean the hotspot features can be used here. All right, if no questions, and then I think it's time for I mean for photo session, right? So guys, please turn on your microphone. Okay. So we'll take a picture. Okay. Please turn on your camera. Okay, I will take a picture. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we have yeah. Previously it was 50. Now it's just 43. Never mind. Okay. Stay safe. Be happy with the Mikrotik hotspot. Okay. Right. So thumbs up again. 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. You're good, man. All right. Guys, thank you
Thank you,
very much
sir.
again
Thank you,
for
sir.
the coming to the webinar. Okay, I got some questions here. Can we use Mikmon to create vouchers? Yes, Mikmon is one of them. Yeah. We also, yeah, I mean, for us, we prefer our own products, DLC radius,
Dear
for
sir,
generating the vouchers. Okay,
do you
because,
hear me?
yeah, it's our own programming. We know very well our own products. Create a product also. Yes, that's good. Free bits Wi-Fi. Oh, okay, great. Anything else, guys? No? Everyone is happy with the webinar, hopefully. Well, if no questions, and then I think we conclude the webinar here. Again, thank you very much. And then again, thank you very much for coming. And hopefully see you in the next webinar every Thursday evening. Okay, good day, everyone. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening for those who are already evening here. And then stay safe and thank you very much and goodbye.
Thank you, Pak
Okay,
Ahmad.
bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Terima kasih, Pak
Welcome.
Ahmad.
Yeah, thank you. Terima
And
kasih.
please do upload every sessions that we have on YouTube, because sometimes we miss this, and it's with your big pleasure. And thank you again.
Yeah, sure. Okay, if time permits.
Okay, please.
Yeah.
If you cannot, please give the recording authority to me, and inshallah, I will day by day, week by week, I will upload it.
Yeah. We upload it on YouTube. Yeah, depends on the availability for admin on admin. And currently the admin is quite busy. We'll see.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. And
Thank you again. Also.
Thank you again. Please upload it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you
Welcome.
for your trainings. It's awesome.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Sure.
Allah Hafiz.
Okay. Sure.